Hi, this is Chris Miglino. I am at the world-famous LD Micro Conference in Los Angeles, California. I am here with Harry Moore from HieFo Corporation. Harry, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it.
Be here. Thanks for having me.
Where are you from, Harry? Which part of the world are you from?
So HieFo itself is here locally in the LA area.
Okay.
We have our operations and our headquarters are here in Alhambra, California.
Okay.
It's just a few minutes from here. I personally live on the East Coast, but spend a lot of time out here.
Great. Now, tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing. You guys are in the optical chip business.
Yes.
So tell us about that. Give us an idea of some of the products you're building. And now you guys are a private company. So you're private. You're early stage private.
Yes.
How early stage? Like, what does that mean? Early stage means a lot of different things to a lot of different people.
It does, and we're unique in that regard.
Okay.
So HieFo itself formed about a year ago. We acquired the assets of a former operating division of a company that's been in business for 40 plus years. The assets, the IP. So we made that acquisition in May of this year.
And they were in business for 40 years.
They were in business for 40 years.
In the optical business.
In the optical business.
Interesting.
And it was a management buyout. So myself, my colleagues, we all worked for that company for in the range, let's call it an average of 20 years.
Okay.
So in making that acquisition, we acquired the know-how, the IP, obviously, but we also acquired the customer set and the market understanding. So we're a startup in the sense that we've been in operation 6 months, but we already have substantial backlog. We already have a significant engagement with major customers in our industry.
And so tell us about, it's been around for 40 years.
Yes.
What's new about what you're doing now? And what's going to be the growth of the business over the next, few years?
Well, we're excited about that because of our expertise, our products are used in optical communications that require very high power, high efficiency operation, as well as very narrow line width. So one of the key applications that I think everyone would be familiar with would be optical communications in today's data center world. So the chips that we manufacture here locally in the U.S., here outside of L.A., are used in the big data centers that power all of the information. For example, Google has many, many millions of optical transceiver links in their data centers that drive the power they need to fuel your Google searches. That's one application. As wireless phones, obviously, with the cellular communication networks driving so much data now, you need more privatized wireless networks. Call them mini cells, if you will, in order to handle all of this bandwidth. Ultimately, that bandwidth has to go back into the public telecom network. And in order to handle that type of bandwidth, it's converted to fiber. So the data gets transmitted via light. In the core of what HieFo is we manufacture the chips that are used in those networks. Mm-hmm. Our founding, our name, HieFo, HieFo, is an acronym essentially for high efficiency photonics. Everything we are developing and working toward is to produce the highest efficiency optical chips in the industry.
And do you see with the growth of data centers?
Yes.
Are you seeing the more and more people ordering the product? Is that kind of what the
amazing part is the demand at this point? It's definitely a seller's or manufacturer's market. If you look at the overall market for datacom transceivers, optical datacom transceivers, one of the major reputable firms that tracks that puts that market alone at $23 billion. And from our engagement with the manufacturers that supply those products, they need more supply. And what HieFo is bringing, the two unique aspects that HieFo is bringing is A, we're independent. We're not going to manufacture the transceivers. We're going to supply the optical engines that fuel those transceivers and the next generation of those transceivers. So there's super high demand today, and going forward, the technical evolution is growing at incredible rates. There's some reporting out there now that puts the demand of the next generation of optical transceivers at more than doubling on an annual basis, which is significant. And the big challenge with those transceivers, there's a lot of companies there now that are developing optical devices and transceivers to support that market. But today, kind of the leading edge development, 800 gigabit per second transceivers, very quickly, if you go to a local or an optical trade show or a communication trade show, all the vendors are demonstrating a 1.6 terabit transceiver. And, the marketing people tell you that there's going to be need almost immediately in the next 12 to 24 months for 3.2 terabit.
Wow.
Transceivers. So it's a very dynamic market. And, we believe that we have some technical capabilities that make us unique and will allow us to address those type of applications. And again, that's one application. The same type of demands we're seeing more and more for the wireless backhaul markets, for example. And in our case, I mentioned that we've been in operation. We acquired an asset that had been in operation for 40 years. That particular operation was very capable, particularly in linear photonics. So we believe that there's a significant demand for that product as well.
Now, you're at this small cap public company conference. Is the idea that you guys would take this company public?
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. We have a very, what I consider, so if you distill down the different markets that we're looking at, you can say that for our chips, we maybe have a $7 billion TAM. Obviously, there's big corporate, publicly traded companies that are already servicing that space. But we believe that we're unique enough to take a significant enough share that we can be very profitable and grow our revenue to a point where we can have a compelling IPO within 4 years.
Good for you. Yeah. Now, so what is that? I know the company's private, but what's the breadth of the revenue of the company? Like, maybe give us a range of what you're looking at?
Our initial conservative targets are to target going with an IPO when we hit probably our first 100 million annual revenue. Yet.
Okay.
Again, conservative. We think that could be 3 to 4 years, but we'll see.
And how do you raise money between now and then, or do you even need to raise money between?
We only need to raise an initial amount of money to fund essentially capital expenditures to buy more equipment. If we look at what I would call our design funnel now, our customer engagements, we acquired an operating business that had a set capacity, and as we've engaged with customers and developed our products, our initial round of funding, we're looking to essentially triple our capacity as quickly as possible.
Interesting. Well, I wish you the best of luck.
Well,
I know it's, I know what it's like to be in the small cap public world.
Yes.
So I like your plan of getting to $100 million in sale. I think that'll make your life a lot easier in the small cap world.
It will.
And, the best of luck to you. Thank you very much. Thanks for taking that time to tell us the story today.
All right. Thank you.
So watch out for the company. I know it doesn't have a symbol yet.
High efficiency photonics.
So how can they get in touch with you? What's a website that they can reach?
www.hiefo.com.
HieFo.com. That's actually a great domain.
Yes.
HieFo.com. It can be used for a lot of things. All right. Thank you very much. And I appreciate your time, Harry. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Chris.
Yeah.